First thing we're going to need to do is measure the top of our box. So go ahead and do that now. Get both measurements because this is the size you're going to need to roll out your slab for your lid. Next thing you're going to need to do is get out the slab roller equipment such as the rolling pin, the roller guides. Make sure you're using the purple guides and roll yourself a nice flat slab. Okay, this is what we're going to be using for our lid. Next thing we need to do is measure our slab using the ruler to the measurements that we got when we measured our lid of the top of our box. So mine was 3 1/4 by 3 1/2, but yours might be different depending on the size of the top of your box. So make sure you're drawing straight lines here and use a ruler in order to make your lines nice and straight so your lid is also straight. All right, once you got your lid cut out, make sure it fits nicely on your box and that all sides are covered. Okay, once we do that, it is time to move on to creating our flange. To cut our flange, I'm going to use scraps of slabs that I used when I rolled out my lid. So just cut them into like 1/4 inch pieces, and we're going to use them to create the flange. The flange is an area that will sit on the inside of your lid and prevent your box from slipping off of your lid. Okay, so again, I'm going to measure, and I need to make sure that I put my flange on the inside of my lid, but I also need to make sure that my lid still fits on my box. So because my box sides are about 1/4 inch, I'm going to measure in just a little bit to make sure that my flange is actually sitting on the inside of my box and not preventing my lid from going on. All right, so that square that I drew is where I'm going to set my flange. Now I'm going to need to use my serrated rib in order to score where I'm going to add that flange. Okay, so I'm going to score all 4 marks there to create a square. I'm also going to make sure that I slip inside of those scoring marks so that I make sure that my pieces don't fall off in the kiln. I'm also going to go ahead and use the serrated rib on the little pieces of slabs that I cut out. Okay, so make sure that you score those as well, and you'll also need to put slip on those also. So I'm going to go ahead and press, cut right there where my line is, and then I'm going to use the other piece to create the other part of my flange. Okay, so I'm just creating like a little square inside of my lid, and this is going to prevent my lid from falling off. Once I have all pieces added, I can go ahead and smooth and blend. Okay, I can start by just kind of blending with my fingers, blending in the little seams so that I don't have lines at the top. Making sure that it fits on my lid is really important. If it fits, then take the wooden modeling tool and go ahead and blend in all of your seams. Okay, again, this is important to make sure our pieces don't pop off into the kiln. But it's important that you check to make sure it fits before you blend the seams in. Because if you blend the seams in and it doesn't fit, then it's going to be a lot harder to take off and redo. So really make sure that it fits before you blend in the seams using your fingers and the wooden modeling tool. Water will also help you with the blending process, so just a little quick squirt from the When the class is over, you want to make sure that you spray your damp box so that it will keep moisture in it. Go ahead and put your box in the damp box and take the lid off and store them separately. You can see mine was already starting to join to my box. Right, this is how you want to set them in your damp box at the end of the period with the lid nice and tight on there.